What improved your life so much, you wished you did sooner? I stopped living my life just waiting for the weekend. When you work 5 days a week and have just 2 off, it's not good to be always waiting for those 2 days. You can plan something meaningful or fun every day, even if it's just a small thing. Edit. Wow, thanks for all the awards. I'm glad others have found this comment helpful. To talk about my depression. Don't be too afraid to seek for help. Flossing. Actually, I use a water pick now. Now my hygiene and cleaning visits are a breeze, and I haven't had a cavity in years. Learned Spanish. Now I have a lot of amazing Latino friends and I got a lot of great gigs and opportunities because of it. Just packed up and moved thousands of miles away. Left everything behind and just started over. Besides some debt, a suitcase, and contacts for only the non-toxic people in my life, it's been an extremely liberating experience. And looking back, nothing was really preventing me from doing it sooner. No real reasons at least. I just kept coming up with excuses not to do it until one day I couldn't think of one. Not everyone can afford this, but moving closer to work. My commute went from 45 miserable minutes in traffic glaring in hatred at the tail lights in front of me to a pleasant 15-minute bike ride. I got an hour of free time every day and better health. Got a proper diagnosis. I think a lot of people that for years questioned themselves, what's wrong with me? When they finally got diagnosed, it's a big relief and changes a lot in a better way. Bachelor degree at 47 years old. Master degree at 50 years old. Doubled my salary in 4 years, from just getting by to on track for retiring at 60. Exercise every day. Anxiety and depression are much easier to manage, and I got some confidence I haven't had in years. Low impact cardio. Fuck, I loved to run, but it destroyed my legs. I can swim, my little heart out smiley face. When I was told that I would lose my eyesight, it made me pay more attention to how beautiful the sky was. I can still see and I enjoy watching the clouds on a level one can't even explain. Edit. Thanks to everyone for the love, you all have made me very happy. Audiobooks. Commutes, walks, yard work, chores, watching kids at the park, lounging around etc. are all way better and some of the highlights of my day. I even listen when I fall asleep and it helped me sleep faster and gave me something to enjoy if I have a random bout of insomnia. I'm about to go camping and know I'll sleep like garbage and enjoy every minute of laying in a tent not sleeping. Finally talking with my, then new, family doctor about my misuse of decongestant nose spray. He told me it's a common issue and that there is help. 1.5 years of tapering off and 2 surgeries later I used bad nose spray for the final time. I could kick myself for not talking about it for more than 20 years. Edit. I am working my way through the comments and questions. I posted it before going to bed and didn't expect much reaction. So, the addiction's name is rhinitis medicamentosa. So it's not an addiction like alcohol, in the way there's a reward system in your brain, but it's a self-sustaining process. You have an infection and take nose spray. If you do it more than a few days, the reason why you took it at first is gone, but these sprays mean the nose clogs again. So you take nose spray against nose spray, which got worse and worse over the years. Many asked which spray I took. I largely gave up talking about any names in this regard. By definition of stereotype, every Redditor except me is from the US, so your stuff has different names in the store than the German stuff I took. The nose spray I used is sold in Germany as Nasic, which has xylometazoline as main active agent. Some others asked about the surgeries, so here is more about the process. My new family doctor sent me to an end for help. He mentioned that next to the effect of the addiction, there's often a background to it. Turned out my concha were enlarged and my septum deviated. I must have broken my nose once. The ENT insisted OT must have happened, although I didn't know it. Maybe when I fell off my bike as toddler or so. Both limited how much air could pass and made it even more prone to clogging, which was boosted by the misuse of Nasic. The concha were cauterized, so a small intervention, about 30 minutes plus a few days sick leave. The septum deviation was corrected via full anesthesia surgery in the hospital by the ENT plus 2 weeks sick leave. The process took so long as the ENT started with tapering off by flooding the nose spray with hay fever and sea salt ones. Effect. Reducing bad nose spray from 5x a day to 1 to 2x. Then cauterizing, after which the nose needed to heal, reducing it to 0 to 1 by per day, before the surgery. As the septum deviation is done in hospital, I needed to wait a few weeks until I could do it, and afterwards the nose needs some weeks to heal again. I started flower gardening. Really relaxing, you will see results all summer, lots of successes and failures, but failures bring improvements. And I listen to Audible books while I'm at it sometimes. Especially great if you have a desk job. Edit. It's so nice to know so many are enjoying gardening. I had no idea it would be a Reddit thing. Quitting drinking is the best thing I've ever done for my mental and physical health, and it's done nothing but improve my relationships. The last year and a half have been the best I've ever had. Daily exercise. It doubled my energy for an hour out of my day. Drinking water. Simple, but know so many who don't drink enough it. It's refreshing and revitalizing. I actually have a story. I used to live off of Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper by the 12 PK box. How I stopped. Got into a major fight with my GF at the time, now wife, who was a major health nut. She threw out my soda saying stop drinking that shit. I professed my love for the soft drinks and my free will to do so. She pauses for a moment, narrows her eyes and asked me a simple question. What do you love about soda? After thinking about it, outside of the sugar I said the bubbles. She got me a soda stream with flavor syrup I could reduce to a drop, and that was the last time I had soda. To this day she claims she saved my life. Doing at least one chore a day. You would be amazed at how well getting something done, even if you hate it, can fight back against certain depressive mentalities, particularly the ones that convince you you're useless or a burden. Learning to set boundaries and say no. My social skills. Looking back, I could have made some awesome new friends. But nope, my anxiety-driven ass had to be difficult back then. Moved away from the state I grew up in. I didn't know how unhappy I was. I had gotten used to being miserable, and now that I'm in a better area I'm a completely different person. Stopped arguing with random strangers on internet. I did fencing in college, and after that I just couldn't make it work with my school and work schedule. 15 years later, I found a club and started doing it again. I hate every other sport, and exercising just to exercise is unpleasant and boring. This is the only one for me, and I needed something to make me active. Eating dinner or a late snack at work. Too often I would leave work hungry, and the temptation driving past Chick-fil-A or the corner taco shop was too much. I've kept my weight under control for a couple of years now, having dropped from the 220s to the 170s. Walking. I've got stamina again. Edit. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. Stopped caring what others think about me. Learning how to do everything myself. Car issue? Look it up. Fix my fence? Look it up. Just do it all myself. Replace valves? Look it up. If they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I started viewing things as potential experiences rather than just opportunities for achievement. Before that, for example, if I took a class, then I was only focused on the grade. If I couldn't get a good grade, I didn't like the class. Heck, I wouldn't even start a book if I thought it might be too hard or too long and I might not finish it. Then I realized the purpose of classes, and books and other things, was to learn, and that hard ones were likely the ones I learned the most from, even if I didn't get the best grade. I started doing all sorts of stuff with the idea that I just wanted the experience. Even if I was the worst one out there, who cares? I wasn't there for the achievement, I wanted to learn things. This works socially as well, and I started taking way more risks, telling myself that, at the very least, it would be a learning experience. I saw a saying once, it's only a failure if you stop trying, otherwise, it's an experiment. I love it. Riding my bike at least an hour a day. Accepting adversity as a part of any process. We may get too overwhelmed from time to time when adversity hits, but if you take a peek at the future, it all starts to feel smaller and make more sense. Quitting drinking. Everything is easier these days, coming up on 4 years. Listening to the sound of rain to fall asleep. A few things. And #X200B. 1. Started taking walks after every meal that I could. For lunch breaks at work, I eat something while walking. Walks have allowed me all kinds of time to think about stuff, decompress, and listen to podcasts. 2. If you're like me and you're really out of shape and haven't exercised in years, put an exercise bike in front of your computer, Bonus points for a recumbent one, they're more comfortable, and learn to play more games with a controller. Set small goals with the thing. Play Monster Hunter, do a hunt while pedaling as fast as you can, then do a hunt sitting in a chair, then switch back. It's difficult to describe how exhilarating it is to do raiding in FFXIV, and clear a boss for the first time, while completely out of breath and sweating all over the place. It's a truly unique feeling, and I cannot recommend it enough. 3. Somebody already posted, "Stop arguing with random strangers on the internet," but really I can't stress this one enough. If you see a post on a social media site that you know is going to have controversial comments below it, try and force yourself to not read the comments, unless you are going there specifically to laugh. Life is too short to get mad at people whose opinions you can't change. 4. This one is kind of situational, so it might not work for everyone. I live only 1.5 miles from the local grocery store, and only 2.5 miles from the local mall. When gas prices started going up, I bought myself an insulated backpack and stopped driving for my shopping trips. 3-mile round trip for groceries, and 5 miles round trip for my walks to the mall. It's forced me to buy less garbage food that I shouldn't be eating, and seriously think before I spend money at the mall. The exercise is a bonus. 5. Bought myself a pair of sleep phones and started listening to non-verbal ASMR videos, ocean sounds, rain, anything that seemed relaxing. It used to take me hours to get to sleep, now I'm usually asleep within about 30 minutes of getting into bed. 6. I quit smoking cold turkey last year, and while I don't feel very different, I have certainly found that I don't get as winded from basic exercises as I did before. Got a bidet toilet attachment. There's nothing like having a clean ass all the time. Finding the right therapist. Been in since I was 9, and found the right one at 23. It's only been maybe 6 months, but I've already unpacked so much more trauma in that small time than I did all the other years wasted in therapy. Getting a WFH 40-hour-a-week job. I was working like 55 hours a week in a warehouse before. So much room for activities. Edit. This blew up, so anyone asking how I did it, there's a comment below explaining it in detail. No one has said it yet, but laser eye surgery. Best money I've ever spent. I begrudgingly started lifting weights when I was 30 due to some back pain that caused me to barely be able to get out of my office chair. I forced myself to go for a few weeks, then I started looking forward to going to the gym, then after a while I became a total gym rat meathead. I wish I had started lifting when I was a teenager. Not only did it cure my back pain, but I lost weight, look and feel much better, and the doctor says all my health indicators are spot on now as I am in my 40s, and in addition it's like a hobby for me now that I tinker with and socialize with other people who are into the same thing, etc. Trying to be more positive in general. I dedicate at least 30 minutes every day to playing with my kid, full stop. I used to just play with him sometimes and feel guilty when I couldn't. But then I realized something. I was journaling every day about my feelings, and I realized that the high point of every single day was the time I spent playing pretend with him because we're both so joyful. He's 6, and he's growing up way too fast, and I adore him. So even when I'm exhausted and get really busy, I now set aside other grown-up responsibilities and make a fort, pretend to be a puppy, or make a fake dinner with him in his playhouse. I forget I'm his parent or an adult for a half hour and talk to him as if I was still his age. It makes him happier than anything in the world when mommy plays with him, but the real surprise was noticing that it made me happy too. That time isn't just quality time, it's something my soul treasures is downtime from the rest of my life. I genuinely enjoy it, and I think most other people would too if they would just try it. Forget how silly it makes you feel and just do it. Left my abusive relationship of 14 years. Eating more healthily. Edited, getting a lot of questions about how I did it. Here's some suggestions with the reminder that this works for me, may not work for you. If you really are serious about losing weight, consult a doctor and/or nutritionist. 1. I was a carb fiend. Pasta, rice, bread, if it had a carb, I wanted 4 servings of it. Sugar is a carb too. So I started watching how many carbs I consumed a day. It shocked me. So now I'm a lot more aware of how many carbs I eat. 2. Building on number 1, serving sizes. To me, an open container of any size was a single serving. I pay attention to how much I'm supposed to eat. For snacks, I'm addicted to smart food. You can order a bunch of them in single serving sizes. 3. Vegetables. I always ate veggies, now I eat more. What used to be 2/3 potatoes or pasta or rice with a meal is now 2/3 vegetables. 4. Cut back on meat. We usually go meatless for dinner at least twice a week. I hardly eat it at breakfast and lunch is about 50/50. I'd say 90% of the meat we do eat is chicken or fish. 5. I have always loved to cook, but now I'm really stretching my wings and trying things I wouldn't do before. If you don't know how to cook, learn. Alton Brown or Ina Garten are great starting places. Don't be intimidated by it, you're not working for Gordon Ramsay, you're just feeding yourself. Learn spices. Steaming veggies sucks. Roast that shit. Stir fry that shit. Eat it raw. Anything but steaming. Except boiling, that's worse. 6. Bring your lunch to work. If you eat breakfast at work, bring that too. Same with snacks unless you can get healthy ones there. 7. Don't beat yourself up if you have a cheeseburger. You are going to fail. I fail all the time. Every day is a new start. 8. We only eat out or order out once a week. 9. Water. More than you think. Learn to love to pee. 10. I can't do this right now because I broke my foot, but a walk after every meal helps with your blood sugar. 10 minutes after breakfast and lunch, a half hour after dinner. 11. All things in moderation. You can have butter or cheese or fried foods, just not every meal. And keep to what you're supposed to eat, it's a lot smaller than you think. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I personally did. It worked for me, it may not work for you. I'm not a dietitian, just a dude who wanted to lose some weight. Setting rules for myself. After COVID started, I spent a year drinking and eating pizza every other day, and at that time I thought, why shouldn't I keep doing it if I enjoy it? You can die anytime, so you should make the most out of what little time you have, right? The problem being, apart from health consequences, that it quickly becomes not enjoyable, and I realize now how miserable I was during that time. Most things are only fun when you do them occasionally. It sounds obvious, I know, but it was not obvious for my dumbass. Now I have set rules for myself that I can only drink on Sundays and only eat junk food once a month, and it's so much more rewarding and fun. I recently took up hand sewing. When I think of how many good pairs of jeans I've thrown away simply because the crotch ripped and all it would have took to fix them was a double-threaded ladder stitch. Hiring a sleep coach to help figure out why my kids wouldn't sleep. She didn't suggest anything radical, just a bunch of little changes. But she held us accountable several times a day for 2 weeks through a shared spreadsheet, and the improvement was incredible. Kids slept way longer, were happier, and better behaved. Spouse and I gained hours together in the evenings, had a way calmer home, and also got to sleep more. We hesitated for months because of sticker shock, but it ended up being a huge investment in our quality of life. Working out and deleting most social media like Twitter. Buying a decent mattress. Well, a mattress topper at least. For the majority of my life since I hit puberty, I could never get to sleep quickly. I'd roll around for hours with my eyes closed and get comfortable, but could never doze off, and when I woke up, it was mostly just resigning myself to the fact that it was time to get out of bed whether I actually felt rested or not. I just assumed that I suffered from some kind of insomnia, and there wasn't much I could do about because I wasn't about to go down the route of taking sleeping pills and all the problems that can bring. Then one day I finally decided that if I was going to spend sleepless nights awake and tossing in bed, I was at least gonna be comfortable, so I bought a really nice memory foam mattress topper. I've never slept so good in my whole life, and my whole world changed. Add in a good shredded memory foam pillow and I'm in heaven. I'm out like a light in a few minutes and comfy as hell, so I wake up with tons of energy and a better outlook on life. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and liking. Any feedback in the comments would be greatly appreciated so that we can make these videos even better. Thanks for watching Upvote Stories.